Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order, and we have the minutes of October 18th and
We can do them all.
the 25th.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes of October 18th and October 25th.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, we have warrants 9 and the payroll 9P and Conservation Commission number 1.
I'll make a motion, we approve warrants 9, 9P, and Conservation Commission 1.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? Warrant 9 is for $15,394.86. And that was going for tax refunds, property tax refunds, fuel for the highway department, payroll transfers, and painting the yellow and white lines on Middle Road and East-West Road. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I had just a question for background on the property tax refund for people that prepaid. Why do funds go back?
I think if they have a mortgage, or sometimes a bank or a financial institution is paying. That's what I understand. And so they're paying twice, and so when that happens, they
So they get
get a refund, yes. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Okay, well, we have ARPA funding next, and we have Randy Hicken and Paul Chapman to go over a proposal for some electrical. You guys are up.
We have, the quotes was divided into two parts.
Okay.
The downstairs, no basement, which probably includes a lot of work that affects the whole building. Mapping out the old wires, cleaning up a couple of sub panels that still have fuses in them. And putting outlets all the way around that basement room, because there's like 1.5. And that was that first one, which I forget the numbers. And the other one is work upstairs, and mostly in the south classroom where the renter is now, and the meeting room. And that's to put in baseboard outlets. They'll be on the like Panduit molding around just a whole string of them, because it's hard, almost impossible to get things plugged. You gotta get your hands and knees and crawl under a shelf. In the classroom, there's 2 circuits that are there now, old wiring, 15 amp, and they're running a lot of things on extension cords. And one was a air conditioner that's run on about a 35-foot extension cord. Okay, that because on the window side there were no outlets. But then this project would be putting 2 circuits wrapping the room, so you can pick up some wherever you're going to need it, including be able to run an air conditioner. And so outlets in the hallway, and some light switches, some lighting connections in the hallway. To check out the bathroom fans, which I think are, well, we don't know for sure. May just be old. That's most of it. I think there'll be 1 circuit in the library. We can't get at most of it without some difficulty. We schedule that on a different time. At least put 1 circuit along the windows, so they can plug in an air conditioner, some of the other electronics they have, their computers and things like that.
Also need to break up some of the too much things out of line.
This was recommended by the inspection that was done.
Yeah, and also take care of any GFI or grounded issues. You don't have to rewire everything where there's no ground, where they put GFIs on the front of the line, but you gotta trace out and map out where everything is, what circuits where. And that's one of the first parts of the project, will be to get our panel labeled and label the outlets and other things that are going on. Make the future a little easier.
We're out of compliance with the amount of usage with the extension cords we gotta get. The insurance guy, we have talked to the tenant and everything, we just wanna keep it up to code, so we're not violating stuff.
So the Energy Committee had our last meeting at the community center and toured the building, and we're really impressed with the work that's being done there. So,
Thank you.
good job. Am I remembering that it's only 100 amp service?
That was a 200 amp
Oh,
box.
it's 200 bucks.
But it's not, when they put the box in, they didn't divide everything up to take advantage of the larger. Only some of it they did, but a lot of it's still wired as if it was just the 100 amp box.
Yeah. They've got 200 amps coming into the
Right.
building.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. How much do we have left in the ARPA fund? Do you have that number?
It was over 200,000.
Okay.
Only a couple more items.
230 or 40, 250, somewhere right in that area.
Okay, all right. So if the structures comes in, these structures are 210 or something.
Yeah, so that would, I think originally we had figured if the structures came in at 220, we still would have had a little over 10 left. But we haven't seen anything, we have no idea what this, I mean, the structures could come in considerably less. We don't know.
Right, one more. How many estimates did you guys get?
Only one.
Only one.
The guy we could get us to call us back.
Okay.
Who's it from?
Scott,
Hampstead.
Newfane,
He's a
Brian, the guy who did the windows down, recommended them, and
The original one that I think Gene
Yes,
nominee got was
was
for
30,
almost 40,000.
Yeah, yeah.
From King's Electric, was that?
Yeah.
I think it was,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Kind of
this is considerably more reasonable.
And all these were our estimates, but that was, the line items are the things that we talked about and we knew were definitely a problem. He picked up a few things, so I think it's a pretty reasonable estimate to get those things where we need them. It doesn't address lighting, except in a few places where it's not good at all, or missing, and put some LED 4-foot fixtures in the basement. And possibly in that central hallway, there's 3 different light switches to get to the back, and one of them's intermittent, and the light bulbs are. That's just a separate lighting project for the main hallways, upstairs and down.
Right. Well, if we get some money for energy efficiency, that might cover the lighting portion.
That's why we didn't include it this time.
It's less likely, if we get separate funding, it's less likely to cover the basic electrical work, more likely to cover
Yeah.
relamping.
And you might want to, do you guys pay for the electricity?
yep, both.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are talking air conditioners, those, yeah, you might want to think of something different than that too.
We're just trying to, right now we've been running about $115 in the summer, so we're not bad yet. It's not we're doing well on electricity right now, but the amount of time that they're on has been very limited due to the wiring and stuff, and people not wanting to dare leaving them on when nobody's there.
Right. You said, how much did you say it was a month? 100?
115, we've been doing pretty good.
Yeah.
you, Bill.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to do here?
Well, I'll make a motion that we authorize the community center for the electrical upgrades for the total amount of $16,023.15.
No, I'll second that.
Okay, discussion? I'm good with that, as long as we sort of have that structures, what we might need for the structures.
I think it would probably be pretty, I mean, we don't have that in hand, so it's,
Yeah.
like I said, I think if it was at the 220 that Lee was estimating, then that left us around 10 or so. But we don't know what it is. So, I mean, that would mean that if it came in at 220, we would just have to pull
Some from the structures.
fund. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, all right. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. Okay,
Thank you.
there you go. Great, and if we run short, we can always take some of that ARPA money back from the Historical Society.
It's all
Okay, let's see. This is come to our visitors and public comment. Anything else on the?
Anything you'd like to know? We're hopefully drainage is starting next week. This week, next week.
Yeah, should be coming in
Great.
right away.
The windows are done down the basement.
Yeah.
We just gotta paint them now. We're gonna paint them ourselves. The guy's been working on the air handler system and the measuring and everything. So that's been everything's coming together in the last couple of weeks of, all the work from all summer long is actually coming together right now.
Sounds good. Yeah, the photos, did everyone get the photos they sent them?
Yes.
Yeah, look pretty good.
Very happy with Brian Lewis's work.
Is it Brian?
Yeah,
Yeah, he does good work.
yeah.
Great.
I missed the photos. Did you email those?
They were sent to the Selectboard.
Yeah.
Today?
No, 2 days ago maybe?
Yeah, I was gonna say it was.
Someone missed it.
From volunteer.
Days ago, yeah. So, but if you were there yesterday, or?
No, this was a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay. All right.
So Paul, once those are all painted, just let me know and then I'll come
Thank
down
you.
and
Yep.
take care of the other stuff.
Just wanna wait till the dust settles and then we'll put your stuff, after you get it painted, I'll clean everything first.
Right.
Window quote.
Yep.
Yeah, so I made window quotes for that.
Good. Okay. Well then, visitors and public comment. Jody, are you here for something on the agenda? or-
Yes, I'm here for something on the agenda, but there was something, I just asked a question on that is on the agenda, which you don't usually go over, your correspondence for information. What does NRB Act 250, what is that?
Natural Resources Board, Act 250, that was for...
Is that Putney Landing, the Putney Rowing Club?
No, I don't think that was the Putney Rowing Club.
I don't know, is it in there?
No.
No,
Can't
it was an email. I didn't see it in there.
There's a lot of initials on your correspondence in it. Most of it I understand.
I think it was a letter, as I remember, telling the applicant that they hadn't completed the application process or
It was an
application.
incomplete
And
application.
so they had to
Yes.
get back to them. And it wasn't Sugar Mountain,
No.
and it wasn't the Putney Rowing Club. It wasn't anything that I recognized.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Well, I'll look through and
I'm just curious.
send you a note. Okay, and
Rick Morales, Public Affairs Specialist with the Small Business Administration, the federal agency. Yep. Can I see him?
yeah, you got it.
I have to take pictures to prove that I came here to my supervisor. So yeah, I brought some information. I came here for multiple reasons. We are still here in the field, on the field. So we right now the latest updates. Why we are visiting, because the government can help us to share the information with the citizens. That's why we are visiting. It doesn't matter if the town has damages or not, or a little bit or a lot of damages. So that's why we are doing these select board meetings. We are doing media. We are still pushing the information of these past floods of mid-July. The incident period is between July 7 and July 21. The deadlines for physical damages with SBA and to apply with FEMA was yesterday, but FEMA, why I'm here late, I have so many counties, even in New Hampshire, Massachusetts. I have done select board meeting here in Marlboro, Wingham, Athens. I have been visiting all Vermont. I think that I know more Vermont than Puerto Rico. I'm from Puerto Rico. That's why my accent is a little bit weird. So yeah, right now, why I came here also because we have a grace period. The people can still apply with FEMA and SBA within these 2 next weeks. That's why we are still visiting. The DRC, I know that it's not that close from here. It's in Berry City. They close on the 9th, so the people can go there to apply with FEMA and SBA. Always is better to apply on the centers to one-on-one, face-to-face, instead of just applying online. I don't recommend. We don't recommend the people, the citizens, the survivors, the people that is affected, applying online, because it's not that easy. Always something, a document missing, or that's not the best way to go. Also, I brought the fact sheet of the USDA. They are another federal agency. They have programs for public assistance. They have programs for homeowners repairs, business repairs. You all know that FEMA have a program for public assistance, but we don't provide funds for public assistance. We only assist homeowners, renters, non-profits, and businesses. We are not a regular SBA, we are the Department of Disaster Assistance, so that's very important to know. And we always visit too, because a lot of people move from different counties to other towns, because of course if they were totally flooded, they move to live with their parents or families. So that's why we visit all the towns on primary counties, because Wingham County is a primary county. So you can share that with your friends, networking. If you can put information on the social media website or a Facebook. Some towns has a Facebook page, so that's why we visit too. And just if you all can learn just one thing today, that would be great too. That's why we visit, because all this information is not only important for these past events, but for possible future events. That's why we are visiting all the towns on the primary counties. So I also visit because the people get discouraged with the SBA, because you all know that we are not grants like FEMA. That's why I came to explain ways on how the people can use these funds instead of just getting discouraged with the SBA. Because you can tell them, hey, you have this alternative, and they are gonna tell you, I don't want it, I'm not qualified, and they don't want to do it. But I'll give the reasons. If, for example, this to illustrate, this example is for homeowners and renters. If they were denied by FEMA, most of the time FEMA referred the people to the SBA. But the people don't apply, because of course nobody wants, I don't mention the name because for me the name doesn't mean the thing. A lot of people use these funds, and we have approved more than 23 million with these funds from the SBA. So if you are denied by SBA too, SBA might refer them back to FEMA, and FEMA might give them all the other disaster assistance like grants. In other words, at least the people can have hope to receive something. I know that it's not guaranteed or obligated, but they can receive something. Also, some people use the denegation letter of SBA. If they receive not the maximum of FEMA, like right now it's 41,000. If they receive 10,000, 40,000, and they are not satisfied, and they have to apply with the SBA, that denegation letter of SBA, they can attach that to appeal with FEMA. And FEMA might give them Well, like again, it's not guaranteed, but they might increase the initial amount that they gave. But that's just an alternative, an option. I always bring options to the people how to use this because they get discouraged. Another example, the people that had insurance, you will know that you have to wait sometimes months or a year or more to wait for that payment or settlement. The people use this to rebill quicker. They might receive the money faster with us instead of waiting for that payment. So because we have the 1 year deferment with 0% interest rates and no nothing that year, so that's why they apply with us. And then if you receive the payment from the insurance company, they have to pay first the federal agency automatically because you have to tell them, hey, I took this fund from the SBA because you haven't paid me. So that's another alternative. And once again, I always recommend the people on times of disasters to apply with everything, to apply with FEMA, SBA, USDA, with Red Cross, Salvation Army, because you never know from what part are you going to get the money faster. So that's why we always recommend the people to be proactive. And also within that year, the people can review quicker so they can find other resources like the people is applying with the state. The money that the state said that they were going to give, they already applying with that, with nonprofits, with other federal agencies. So they can pay for these fund programs of the SBA within that year. I have seen payments of $20 a month or less. Why? Because if you choose 30 years, and if you don't take a lot of money, you can have low monthly payments because this is long-term recovery. This is for the people that with lack of resources that they can rebuild quicker because they don't have the funds. And of course, why we exist because FEMA can give everything. In Montpelier, you all know that Washington County, that's the county like with the most damages, like in Berry City and Montpelier in the capital. Some businesses, for example, had like 200,000, 300,000 damages on inventory equipment. That's why we are an alternative, an option. I always say, hey, I know that we are not the best option, but for some people we are the only alternative and best option. That's why we are still pushing the information and trying to help people. Because they are taking advantage of this because, like I said, we have approved more than 23 million. So we have been doing good, and the people is taking advantage of this. So yeah, if you all have any questions, my purpose was here. This is more informative to share the knowledge and to see if we can still help some people because not everybody apply with all the programs, with FEMA, SBA. Some people still need to apply or complete the procedure. Some people apply but they didn't complete the procedure, so they need to complete the procedures. Why? No fees to apply, they don't have to accept it. At the end of the day, nothing to lose. It's better to complete the procedures with the federal government. Why? Because you all know why some people say, why they don't help me like directly? Well, you all know why, because of the things of the past that happened. That's why all the federal agencies, it's so difficult to be approved by a federal agency with all the requirements. You all know why it's not that easy and why so many procedures and requirements with the federal agencies to get approved with any kind of program. So yeah, we are still here in the field and we want to help the person with our resources. This is what we have. So yeah.
Great. Unfortunately, the member of the select board who's been most involved in the recent flooding recovery isn't here today. He's traveling.
But great if you guys,
Packet for him.
I bring. I leave another one.
Great.
Yeah, and do you have who is the emergency management director? He's a good point of contact for us too.
That would be Marty Ferret.
Oh.
So yeah, he's not here right now.
Because it would be great if you can share that with the emergency management director too.
I'll let him know, and I'll let his assistant know too.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, right now we're working on the Emergency Watershed Protection Program, and so that's
Yeah,
what I've been working with mostly.
I thought something from FEMA, but I think that's public assistance with the government. We only provide individual assistance. Mm-hmm. So and I want to clarify the deadline that I mentioned of FEMA is not related to public assistance. It's related to homeowners, renters, nonprofits, and the deadline of the SBA is for physical damages. That's for infrastructure, real estate, inventory, equipment for homeowners, renters, some non-profits and businesses. The deadline for economic damages for losses on profits related specifically to businesses and some non-profits, that's for the next year with the SBA. That's for April of the next year, but we are still pushing the deadline of the physical damages. That the deadline was yesterday, but remember, for FEMA and SBA, 2 weeks grace period. So that's why we're still here informing the information. And remember the DRC, Disaster Recovery Center on Berry City, and they close on the 9th. And one last thing, the 800 number, so the people can call there. That's the customer service center, and they can give the status of the applications, the updates of the centers. They can answer all the questions. That's the best way to go. The 800 number is very important for SBA, so they can answer all the questions with the SBA. That's a good point of contact, the 800 number for the SBA.
Okay,
Thank you so much, sir, for the time opportunity.
thanks for coming in.
Of course.
Thanks very much.
Can I just give you one little thing? See this glossy paper? I hate to be, say this, but this money that you guys spend on this could go to help other people.
It's true. I know that.
It costs a lot of money for that glossy paper. I mean, I think you guys should be.
It's true. I know what you mean. Thanks for the recommendation. I know everything is expensive on these days.
Exactly. So.
Even I know that even for one page, sometimes for one color page, you'll know that it's $1 or more for just a copy. That's why we didn't have enough copies of some documents, and we took photocopies in black and white. That's why, because just one copy is like more than $1. Right. But I know what you mean, and you are totally correct with the recommendation of it's expensive. That I know.
Right.
So I'm not taking you any more time. So thank you so much, sir, Chairman, for the time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night, sir.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I don't see anyone from BDCC or SEVEDS here, so let's go on. How's the road crew going? Work with the road.
We were grading Sunset Lake Road, and Wayne goes out in front of the, where they're gonna grade and blows the leaves off and blowing the leaves out of the ditches, which good thing we were doing that this week with the snow coming down and stuff. So yeah, doing some grading, still doing some roadside mowing.
Okay.
By the way, I noticed, I don't know if this can get back to Lee or if he's the right person, but the street light out on West Street, the south end of West Street, is out on Route 30.
South end?
Yeah. Maybe it means a call to Green Mountain
Right.
Power. I'm not
No,
sure.
I'll let him know.
Thanks.
Okay, is there anything under correspondence for information that you'd like to go over?
Oh, the zoning administrator's quarterly report, that looked an awful lot like the report from the second quarter. I was reading that and I said, gosh, is this the same? But there is a couple changes, but there's a lot of duplicates.
Repeats?
Yeah, duplicates on
I noticed
that.
that too.
So,
Okay, under correspondence for discussion and or action, I think we're going to have to wait. There was some information regarding the emergency watershed protection program process, and Todd was
right, looked like it was 2 that were approved.
yeah.
And, but now it depends on if they can come up with their portion.
So, I guess we'll wait for Todd to get back for further update. let's see, there was the Wyndham Regional Commission Vtrans Survey to gauge interest in a bicycle corridor along Route 5. And I thought that was just a survey that just needed to be filled out and sent back. So I went ahead and did it. And I identified the area from about Schoolhouse Road to Carpenter Road as being probably the most dangerous for bicycles along there. So,
Well, hopefully they don't do the same thing they did in Brattleboro.
I was just gonna suggest
That
that's
is-
dangerous.
That
It's
is,
really
that
dangerous.
is about the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. You've got vehicles
on
actually,
either side,
no, coming right directly at each other, and at the last second, they turn. Because I think the reasoning behind it, and I'm only thinking this, is they wanted parking on one side of the road here, and then parking over here, instead of just saying, we're gonna have one side with parking, and the other side you can't park on. It is, you know, I guess you've all seen it,
We
because
don't know if they're gonna actually switch back.
yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
Oh, I was driving down through it, yeah, and that's what you felt like you were doing. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is going on here? They cannot be this bad. And then when I saw that survey, I'm like, I hope we put whoever designs anything doesn't listen to what they did down in Brattleboro. That is crazy.
I also think that from the Brattleboro line up, when the mess that they made down there on
Oh,
that thing. Anybody who rides their bikes there is crazy because it's such a mess. You know what I'm talking about, because you live right near there.
The paving.
the
that
paving
they
they
The
did,
paving,
Yeah.
they call it paving.
that the state tried to do last year.
yeah.
It was the local state, I think.
Yeah,
It's the local operation.
right, well, it was the actual state.
Yeah.
They, I mean, like Route 30, they hired that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that crew down there tried to do it.
Let's see. There's the VLCT PACIF insurance renewal paperwork. Is that the same thing? Is that the same thing as the VLCT PACIF DocuSign? Well, let's look in the folder then. So that's for and or action.
There was something that Lori completed, right? Was that the renewal paperwork?
Yes, that was.
That's the renewal
Yeah.
paperwork, but I don't know if it's the same
Okay.
as the DocuSign.
Okay, I think it's different.
Is it different?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I think she was gonna take care of it.
Okay.
So, and I'll just check in with her to make sure. Okay, under new business, we have, Park Lawton Road structure estimate, but nothing going with that. We have an errors and omissions, form from the lister to correct or revise, property assessment.
Yeah, right, no, yeah, I'll make a motion that we sign the errors and omission certificate from the listers.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, let's see. We have the Town Office and Historical Society, maintenance along the Brook. Did you like to speak to that?
Well, I could, seeing as I brought it up. And I'm not really speaking for anybody, but my personal bit was, I am a member of the Historical Society. There's a lot of things that are growing up in the area. When we had our Act 250 permit to put our addition on, we got some restrictions from the brook so that it wouldn't get too hot in the summertime for the fish. I don't know if there's any fish in there or not, but I haven't fished that particular part of the river, the brook. And this, if you've read, I know that Lori sent me, and I know she sent the select board, the Act 250 land use permit, and they if you read it, there's a 6-foot area from the center of the brook that you're not supposed to do anything to, although you can get rid of invasives if you can contact them, or you can get rid of trees that are growing that you really don't want or, you know, are in the way. And then there's another 15-foot area that you can mow one time a year. And last year, it didn't get mowed, I don't think, on either side. And if you noticed in front of the Historical Society, there's those big rocks out there. And so beyond that, we can't mow every time we mow, or town can't mow. And it's town property, it's not, you know, so that's why it's coming to the select board. But beyond that, there's all kinds of things, like right down by the, what do you call those things that go under the road? Culvert, thank you. Those culverts right down here, there's a tree growing up right next to the culvert. And there's a lot of junk trees. As you go down the parking lot, there's some really nice big oak trees, and there's some maple trees growing and whatever. But in and amongst all the other is a lot of junk trees. And I just didn't know whether, you know, the town crew or something could just kind of clean it up so that the center really, you know, the town offices and the Historical Society could look really nice. Summertime, you want the milkweed to grow, and you want those other things for keeping the brook cool and for the birds and the hummingbirds and the butterflies and everything. But at least if you could mow it down one time a year, it would help get rid of some of these things. There's poison ivy in there like crazy. In the past, I've tried to do away with the poison ivy because, you know, anybody knows poison ivy, it takes over. But I'm just suggesting that maybe the town might want to take a look at it and clean it up a little bit, but show some nice trees and maybe even just throw some wild flowers in there to grow.
Okay. All right. I can get in touch with Brett Castine to remind him to do that, the upper buffer, the upper part of the riparian.
I wonder if the Conservation Commission would have interest in planting some nice trees like black gum or something that like to keep their feet wet and really pretty in the fall. They don't get too big.
That'd be interesting.
Trees like that.
Because they measure it from the center of the brook. Well, the brook is only about that wide at this point, and it's 6 feet that you're not supposed to touch, and then up to 15 feet if you've read this proposal here. So that would be, the Conservation Commission would really know how to preserve it and still look nice, I think. I'm just bringing it to the select board because it is town land.
Thank you.
And we're very fortunate to be able to be on the town land. And for $1 a year, that's what you charge for 99 years, and that's long after I'm going to be here.
Well, we'll have to wait and see about that, I guess.
I don't think I'm going to live that much longer, Zeke.
Okay, well, I'll get in touch with Brett. We'll get that done. That should be done this fall. And,
You know, he might have to shovel snow off that,
Yeah.
anything else on that?
Do you want me to reach out to the Conservation Commission about looking at plantings for that area?
I think just my own personal opinion is they're probably pretty busy with over by the covered bridge. I don't know if they want to undertake a planting project right now, but maybe if they're listening, they can.
But if you could just get rid of some of those other, I call them junk trees, and let the nice trees prosper.
Right. Okay. Let's see. Doug Morton was supposed to be here, possibly Eric.
Right.
I guess, we've got 2 no-shows with the Sevens and.
well, there was quite a bit of snow out there, so I mean.
I guess so.
Nothing that you're worried about. You weren't plowing.
So we were going to get the information about the executed assessment agreement with the state of Vermont. Oh, but do you,
You know, I haven't been as involved with
Okay.
that. Doug and Eric have taken the lead. Doug's really taken the
yeah,
lead.
so,
I was hoping one or both of them would be here.
right. Well,
My
let's-
only concern with it was more procedural. I don't know if I'm really for or against what they've applied for,
Mhm.
but I was concerned because it's actually a signed contractual agreement between the town of Dummerston and the state of Vermont. And I felt that that should have been signed by the select board, not the energy committee. Mine's more procedural.
Yeah.
Who's authorized to enter into contractual agreements?
Right. I think you're right on that.
And I'm not sure what we can do at this point because it was signed on behalf of the town of Dummerston
Mhm.
by an energy committee member. And that was my concern.
Yeah.
Was it really didn't follow proper procedure.
I think you're right.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, for the Charette Mobile Home Park, I guess there was a mortgage. It's been paid off for a number of years now, but no discharge of the mortgage has been.
Yeah, but I was talking to Lori today about that, and she thinks this is something that we may have to send to Bob Fisher, because they were looking into it and they cannot find that discharge anywhere.
Okay,
And she's looked quite a few different places and she cannot find that
huh,
discharge. So she thinks this may be a Bob Fisher question instead of us just signing it.
yeah. Yeah, I was going to suggest that you sign it and have Lori notarize it, and I thought we'd be done with it. So, let's see. So who should get in touch with Bob Fisher about this? Who knows more about this?
I mean, I can call Bob about
Yeah.
it.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, great. Want this?
Yes, please.
Thanks. Usually I would have asked Todd to do it.
Exactly, I know. Todd, you still there? You're doing it.
Okay. Well, I thought that was going to be quick and easy, but sometimes. We have a DocuSign for uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage. The motorist coverage direction form that needs to be signed online, I guess. That's how I read it. And I think, I was reading it, we could, the town clerk or select board member could sign it, and if we wanted to authorize Lori to sign.
Yeah,
I guess we should do it.
make a motion that we authorize Lori to sign it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I could get in touch with her about that.
Do that on Monday. She's gone
she's
for the next
gone.
2 days.
It's her birthday.
Huh. Well, I guess on behalf of the town, I make a motion to wish Lori Frechette a happy birthday. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
You don't want to sing?
Well,
Well, it's actually tomorrow, so we don't have to sing
no,
today.
not yet. Time to practice. We'll maybe meet after the meeting to
Budget.
work on our arrangement, choir arrangement. Well done.
How about you skipped over the MVP health insurance renewal?
Oh, right, good catch. Well, it's due on, a decision is due on the 30th. Lori has said that the employees getting it are very happy with the program.
Right. And it is in the packet under new business, the one that they have
Yes.
got an arrow on it.
The reflective silver QHDHD, I think,
You're right.
so.
I'd say we just leave it for at least the next meeting, let them,
If somebody else
right,
comes forward that
Okay.
doesn't like the plan.
exactly,
We've
yeah.
got time, yeah, great. I'll do that. Okay. Let's see, I don't think I've skipped over anything else.
No.
Is there any other new business?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second?
Great.